This is Ashley Nofke and you're watching Cricket Australia TV.
Yeah, it's been a tough 2 days actually. We were hoping that we'd win the toss yesterday and get the first chance to bat on the wicket, and then to do that and only get 209 was pretty disappointing, especially after we were none for 50 odd. So we really lost 10 for 150 really. So that was probably our first chance to put a stamp on the game, which we didn't take, and then and since then they've played really well, and we haven't really been able to, I suppose, contain them or put any real pressure on them at all for any extended periods of time, and because of that we find ourselves plenty behind and under real pressure with them only 3 down and 2 experienced and quality players at the crease. So having said that, that probably means we're a fair way behind in the game, and we're going to have to really fight hard to make sure, one, it's hard for them to get too far ahead and go miles ahead tomorrow, and 2, to give us a chance to hang in there and see what happens from there. He didn't bowl anywhere near as consistently as he would like. He bowled both full and short. I think a pretty good indication was when he bowled a couple of overs to Callis, he all of a sudden had a deep mid-wicket and he took out one of his attacking players on the offside, which to a leg spinner would normally be where you'd like to defend, where you're trying to get them to hit. So he was probably more likely trying to defend his bad ball, if you know what I mean. So I think he found the rise from first-class cricket to test match cricket, and he played against 2 pretty, well, very, very good players, obviously, in pretty good form, and on a ground or a wicket that wasn't spinning enough, spinning a lot, sorry. And that's what young players, or not that he's that young, but that's what new players find. They come up against quality players, and it's not quite as simple as just running into bowl. They obviously made a decision, I think, to attack him pretty hard. I think I was having a look at it tonight, excuse my notes, but I think Callis faced 44 balls for 35 runs, but Prince faced 19 balls for 19 balls for 48 runs in the little period after lunch. And had 6. They each had, there was 12 4s and 4 6s in that period, and Prince only had 2 dot balls off him. So in that, he's under pressure the whole time, and the scoreboard's ticking over. He can see the numbers going up against his name, and I think the pressure just got a bit much today. It was a pretty hard initiation for him in Test match cricket. Oh, very much so. Yeah, we need him to bowl well tomorrow. We took a bit of a gamble tonight when we got the wicket of taking in the second new ball. I suppose hoping we might be able to break through and ideally have them 4 or 5 down tonight, and have the bowlers a bit fresher tomorrow morning. But yeah, now that we haven't been able to do that, we've got probably a realistic chance. We need to get 6 or 7 probably for less than 100, and then bat our backsides off to get maybe 500 over the next 2 days to be any realistic chance of winning, which is certainly not out of the question, but it's going to be as difficult as it can be. But initially we need to make sure that we don't let them get away like we did this morning, and we can keep it in control a bit better and hopefully get a couple of wickets to keep the game a little bit in the balance as such. Yeah, no, he's fine. He just did, as you say, he just cramped. We've noticed here all week, and actually in the 2020 World Champs a couple of years ago, we had 3 or 4 guys get hamstring strains and cramps and things here. It's quite a heavy and different outfield from even Durban and Joburg where we've been. It's the Kikuyu is quite thatchy and quite thick. So the quicks have noticed it. They're tired in the legs tonight. So I think the medical staff will have a bit of work to do tonight to try and freshen them up and get them going for tomorrow morning. Yeah. It could easily be said that. I think yesterday, when under pressure, we didn't take the opportunity to really consolidate. None for 58, and then Phillip got dropped at cover off Harris, and then only a couple of balls later actually got out, gave away a bit of momentum, or gave away the opportunity we had to grab some momentum. It just looked a little bit like that we were not expecting it to happen. We'd trained really well. We'd felt as though we'd talked about these things quite a bit, and we were really keen to make a really good impact and try and finish the series off as well as we could. We talked about the fact that we thought maybe South Africa were only 5% down in Sydney, and we had a nice win there, and all of a sudden, look what's happened now. So we were keen to maintain that momentum and keep going forward, but. Look, they didn't let us. They played well, they bowled well and caught well yesterday, created chances which we haven't been able to do, and when their batsmen have got in, as you can see, they've had a couple of massive partnerships, or big partnerships, and 2 blokes get individual hundreds, which is a big difference.
Happy to see Prince for the first time in the series. He didn't play early. Happy to see Prince.
Oh no, look, it's great for us in some regards. It's a great learning curve. For the first time, our young bowling attackers had to really struggle through a hard day of Test match cricket. You don't have many days where you only get 3 wickets for 300 odd, thank goodness. I'm not sure if they'd play for much longer if they did. But everybody says that's character building, so we'll see how much character they got tomorrow morning when they turn up and have another crack at it. Yeah.